So today, guys, we're going to be checking out one of the most awesome overdrive slash preamp pedals slash amp in a box pedals that I could find and that I've ever tried in my own personal opinion. Today, we're going to be checking out the Fission Drive from Balaguer Guitars. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? It's a lovely day here in Philadelphia. The sun is shining. It's a little cold, but it's not cold and rainy and cloudy. The Eagles are playing today against the Redskins. Hopefully they don't lose. I'm full of energy. I'm very, very excited. All jacked up on coffee. And I'm even more jacked up because I get to talk about a company that's based out of my home state, Pennsylvania. So Balaguer Guitars is just down the road in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 to 40 minutes depending on the traffic here in Philadelphia. But anyway, it's always exciting to be able to represent some hometown companies and some hometown people. Joe Balaguer, one of the nicest dudes I've ever had to meet in the music industry. And long story short, man, this pedal, I can't wait to share with you guys. It's really cool. But before I do that, let's talk about what exactly this pedal is. So this pedal, long story short, is extremely versatile. It's the best way I could describe it. First off, it could be used as an overdrive. Now, a traditional setting for what I like to do is you could use this as an overdrive in the sense that you have the master volume all the way up and the gain all the way down. This pedal has two gain knobs, which I'll get to in a second, and then you have an EQ to color your tone as an overdrive accordingly, and you have separate voicings, which I will talk about in a second. But overall, you can use this as an overdrive. Now, let's talk about this pedal as a preamp. So as you can see, you have a pre and a post knob, two separate gain staging knobs. Well, think of the pre as your overall preamp on your amplifier, like a 6505, perfect example. You have a pre and a post, right? Well, the pre is your gain, and then your post is your volume, but also adds a little bit more saturation and gain staging on top of your preamp section for just a little bit more resonance and, you know, the tube saturation that we love as guitar players and bass players when we crank up the post or the resonance or the master volume, whatever you want to call it. You know, amplifiers are different, but you guys know what I'm saying. When you add the tube saturation to your sound, it really fills out the sound and adds a little bit more oomph behind your sound, you know what I mean? So that's how the pre and the post knobs work on this pedal. And then you have the master volume on this pedal to control the overall volume of the pedal. So you have two gain stages and then a master volume. Very cool. And then similar to what I said as an overdrive, you have your bass boost and or cut and treble bass boost and or cut, but you also have two separate voicings. Now the modern voicing, you guess it, it's a modern sounding amplifier. So for my own ears, think of like a 6505, like a PV5150, a nice tight focus gain stage and saturation, really good for low tunings in modern metal. But then you also have a vintage setting, and that could be described to me as like kind of like an orange right there. Kind of sounds like an orange to me, like a more like very, you know, words are so hard with describing sounds. Like a very saturated, lush, full, thick type of gain stage. I'm terrible with describing, you know, tones with words. You know, like dry, buttery, creamy. Just think of it as like an orange sound, very saturated, very full sounding. That's what the vintage voicing is. And then, of course, like I said, you have your bass and your treble to adjust your voicings accordingly. And then lastly, this pedal could be used as an amp in a box on a pedal board. So now if you have a pedal platform, if you have a orange pedal baby, or you have a nice clean amplifier that you want to use as your pedal platform, this could be your high gain pedal sound, and then you can have this pedal stand alone, or you can put other overdrives or boosts in front of it and further shape the tone. And again, you can have your different voicings and you can have your gain to match your sound accordingly. Very cool. So this pedal is very versatile. Enough of my talking, let's get to some tones, all right? First, I'm going to give you a demo song using my Kiesel Delos tuned to drop D, and then I'm going to use this pedal in front of my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, as well as blended with two other tracks that were using this pedal as an amp in the box, so to speak, and then using my STL Ignite Libra plugin as my quote-unquote cabinet. And after that, then we'll do some playthroughs using this pedal as an amp in a box and as an overdrive as well with my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. I've got a lot to show you guys. I'm not going to waste any more time talking. Let's get to some tones. that was a lot of tones. That was a lot of dialing in. That was a lot of playthroughing, if that's a word. Long story short, man, I love this pedal for its versatility, but even more importantly, for its sound. Now, a lot of pedals, a lot of overdrive pedals, for example, they do one thing very, very well. I'll think like a tube screamer. I love the tube screamer, but in my own opinion and what I use it for is very limiting. It's very good at cleaning up your low end and adding a little bit more saturation, but it's a very dry overdrive, if that makes any sense. Whereas this pedal, in my opinion, when used as an overdrive, it just adds a little bit more flavor, a little bit more color to it, and it does something. I think you guys could hear it in the playthroughs especially, but it just adds this thing. I don't know how to describe it, but just color and character. That's the best way I could describe it when I put this in front of my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. It cleaned that thing up, the king of the mud. That is my dual rectifier, man. That thing is so muddy. But it cleaned it up, but then it also added a little bit more color. Really cool, man. I loved it. But also, that same type of sound, that color that I'm talking about, was also prevalent in when I was using this pedal as an amp in a box, so to speak. If I would use it like on, you know, my pedal board as a pedal platform amplifier, you know what I mean? It has this really nice, I don't know how to describe it, just the sound. I love the sound of this pedal. That's what I'm trying to get at, guys. Long story short, I love this pedal, man. And you best believe I'm going to be using it for future projects. For example, I'm recording my Jim Root Squire demo. That'll be coming out very, very soon. I'm going to be using this pedal in front of my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. Getting a little off track. Long story short, this pedal will not go to waste. I love it so much. I can't wait to use it on future projects and future original songs and content for me. What do you guys think of this pedal? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments and we'll have a nice friendly discussion. Guys, real quick, I just have to say I made a Facebook page, Stay Metal Ray channel on Facebook. I'm going to be pushing that a little bit for you guys. That's another way for you guys to get a hold of me and see my content and interact with me. So I just started that. Link is down below in the description. A huge shout out to all my patrons and everybody watching at home. I thoroughly enjoyed this video and I hope you guys did too. I am out of here. Stay metal, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.